I'm now going to hand over to Thom Tate, our Business Development Manager, who's going to talk about content authoring strategies that save enterprises both time and money. So over to you. Thank you, Thom.
Thanks, Hugh. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today, taking an hour out of your busy day to learn a little bit more about Gomo and also some of the strategies that can help save enterprises both time and money. I am Thom Tate. I am the Business Development Manager for North America for Gomo Learning, and as Hugh mentioned, I am located just a little bit north of Atlanta in a little town called Cumming, Georgia, near Lake Lanier. Beautiful setting. So, a lot of times when we talk with a lot of different companies, we all, it's human nature to kind of get into a rut. We like to use what we're familiar with. We like to resist change in many times and don't want to learn something new. And a lot of times you're missing out on a lot of new technologies out there that you're not aware of that can really help you to be more productive, increase the productivity of your team, lower your costs. It's going to save you both time and money. And hopefully I can introduce some of those things to you guys today with my presentation. And also, of course, just ask away in the question box, and hopefully either Hugh or myself or Mike can answer your questions for you. So just a little bit about who we are. We are what we feel is the world's leading cloud-based, both responsive and adaptive HTML5 authoring tool that also offers the integrated hosting and XAPI analytics, as well as a native app. So to kind of give you an idea of the type of companies that use Gomo, a lot of them are large global organizations, and they choose Gomo because of a lot of the reasons I'm going to present to you guys today. You obviously don't have to be a large global organization because a lot of these same things can help save you money and time as well. Now, as far as awards, we've gotten gold by Brandon Hall for Best Advance in Content Authoring Technology. Craig Weiss, who is kind of known throughout the industry as the e-learning guru, has ranked Gomo as one of the top 5 authoring tools in the world last couple of years. Training Industry Magazine has recognized us in 2017 as well as 2018 as a top 20 company in the industry. And the Fossway Group, which is a European-based company, has us as a core leader in their 9-grid system for authoring systems. All right. And then also, for those of you who don't know, we are actually part of a larger organization called LTG, or Learning Technologies Group. And they own a lot of beautiful, wonderful companies that are all dedicated to the e-learning space. Leo is a company that does bespoke or custom content development. Net Dimensions is an LMS company, global, based out of Hong Kong originally. Preloaded is a company, their tagline is Games with Purpose. So they make these really advanced augmented reality and virtual reality games. Watershed is an LRS. It's actually run by Mike Rustici. And Rustici was really a very exciting acquisition for us because of the technology that these guys use. They look after SCORM. They basically invented XAPI and Tin Can. And so a good part of their technology stack finds its way into Gomo rather quickly. So I'm very excited about them. Uclea, they sell off-the-shelf content for compliance training in the banking and finance industry. And then most recently, PeopleFluent, we just recently acquired them at the end of May of this year. And it's made up of quite a few different little companies. And the main one, PeopleFluent itself, is a talent management company. And it really manages employees' life cycle from interviews all the way through retirement. But there's also another little company in there that's called Keizo Innovations that we're very excited about. And I'll be talking about that much later. But it was an enterprise video management tool, and had screen capturing and all kinds of wonderful things that you can do with video for e-learning, and it works flawlessly in Gomo. So we're actually absorbing that company, and we are in the process of doing a full integration into Gomo, and it's now going to be called Gomo Video. And again, I'll be sharing that with you a little later on in the presentation. So that's enough about us. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll talk about 10 content authoring strategies that save both time and money. So the first one really is collaboration. So with a lot of these traditional desktop tools that are out there, it is quite challenging to collaborate because a lot of times you're on an island. All of these tools a lot of times are tied to one PC. Their files are local. There's very limited sharing capabilities. And to work as a team in an office, let alone globally, is very, very difficult when you have that type of environment. So the solution obviously is you work together in the cloud. So Gomo is in the Amazon cloud, very, very dependable, very tight in security. And because of this, you can literally be anywhere on any PC. As long as you've got a browser and an internet connection, you can log into Gomo and you can be working on your project and helping out your colleagues. Again, doesn't matter where they are based, that you can work together on the exact same course at the same time. And this, of course, is going to speed up the productivity in your workflow. Design consistency. So a lot of time with desktop tools, one of the things that people like about them is they have so much flexibility. You can change the fonts and colors and backgrounds. But again, for global organizations that need a consistent design feel, that ends up being a large problem. You might have one person that's designing one part of a course and they decide they want to use one style of font and a different color, and somebody else wants to use a different style of font, different colors. And when you try to put things together, they just don't match. They get a mishmash of things that are inconsistent, off-brand. They need to be changed. You got to go back and make those changes. That costs us time and money. So again, you're going to end up with inconsistent course design, fonts, colors, and so on and so forth. So the solution is using Gomo themes. So with Gomo themes, the themes are separate from the content. The themes control the look and the feel of the course. So we do have a custom theme design team, so we can guarantee something is going to be on brand, on color every time, 100% of the time. That previous one was for Nike. This is for United Healthcare. And then we got another one here for Volvo. So again, the themes are going to ensure that regardless of who's creating this course, it's going to be the right colors, the right fonts, the right sizes every time. So you can just let anybody go loose and you're going to know that you're going to get a consistent look and feel every single time. Now, the other nice thing about the themes is being able to update courses. So imagine having to rebrand, 100 courses or 200 courses. Especially when you, again, same problem as before. You've got users that are using different fonts or different background images. The best example I can always come up with is the banks, because banks are, I remember there was a time where it seems like a bank would buy another bank, change its branding, and then 3 months later it did change again. So I can imagine having 1,000 courses that you need to rebrand. Well, by using, again, the themes, you can actually go in and you can rebrand all those courses in a matter of seconds. The theme, again, controls the look and the feel. So if you create, say, 100 courses in that one theme, and all of a sudden you need to be branded, you go into the theme, not the courses, but you go into the actual base theme, make those changes, put in your new logo, change the font, change the colors, and then whenever you hit save, all of those changes are going to propagate throughout every single course that was created using that theme automatically. So you can literally rebrand hundreds of courses in a matter of seconds. I think we had a bank that needed to go through this exact same change. They did not have Gomo, and I think they had something around 240 man hours into making the changes for all of their courses because of an acquisition, when they could have done it just literally in a matter of minutes. Huge amount of savings there. Another trend we really kind of see is allowing subject matter experts to use an authoring tool. I've talked to a lot of large organizations that actually have small training departments, and the problem that they have is that they would get subject matter experts that are needing to create courses for a particular reason, and they just don't have the bandwidth in order to be able to create all these courses that these SMEs are demanding to be created. So what they want to do is they want to be able to allow the SMEs to actually create the courses. But unfortunately, a lot of these tools that these training departments use they've been around for a long time. They've got tons of options and tons of different menus to click on, and it would literally take weeks, if not months, to train somebody how to become an expert on how to use that tool. So our solution is, again, of course, use Gomo. It works in a browser on any device. So again, we designed it to be browser agnostic. So you could be using a Mac with Safari, Chrome on a Windows-based machine, Firefox, IE, doesn't matter, you can actually use it. Now, on any device, sometimes people ask us, does that mean I can use my phone to create content or use a tablet? Yes, but I wouldn't recommend it. But imagine for a moment that you created a course and you're traveling and somebody says, hey, that page that you misspelled somebody's name and I don't have your login, can you fix it? You could log into your phone into Gomo, pull up that course, make that change and save it on your device. So yeah, it will work on any device. It is a drag and drop GUI. We designed Gomo to be very easy to learn. It has a very short learning curve. It's drag and drop, double click on it and put in your changes. And of course, the themes take care of the look and feel. You don't have to worry about what color am I going to use, what font am I going to use. All you've got to worry about is the content. And that's the most important thing anyway. So the subject matter expert can go in and use their expertise and put in the stuff that matters and not have to worry about designing a certain look and feel. That's already taken care of for them. The Quick Start Wizard, which you'll see earlier and a little bit later on, is very simple to use. It gives you a great starting point on the structure of your course. Very easy to manage your course. You see exactly what it looks like. You can see who's in there and working on it at the same time as you are. And we've also even designed screen templates, so you don't have to worry about layout of what's the proper layout if I put a video on here? What's the proper layout if I use one of these other assets? Those are all been created for you automatically. Just create the screen using the screen template and then enter in your content. Again, saves a lot of time. All right, so a lot of times we run into corporations that have a difficult time in getting their content actually out to their learners in a decent amount of time. A perfect example is actually Burberry, high-end retailer. Their IT department were just very tight with security. Once they created a course and put it into a SCORM file, it would have to go into a quarantine to make sure there's no dangerous scripts that'll damage the network. There's not any links to web pages that are not allowed to go to. And this quarantine would sometimes take, on average, 2.5 to 3 weeks before a course became live. And the problem with that was, they get in a new fall line, they'd have to change something out, they need to get that information out to their learners very quickly. Well, it's going to take 3 weeks to do so. Until we came up with our hosting packages and our wonderful solution of the Gomo LMS wrapper. So what this does is it actually takes your course, your 50 megabyte, your 150 megabyte course, and it creates a very small SCORM file. It's generally 11, 12, 13 kilobytes. And what it is, it's an empty SCORM file that you would put onto that LMS, and you put it on there one time. Of course, it's going to have to go through the quarantine one time, but because there's nothing in there, it should go rather quickly. But what's in there is just a link back to the course that's residing live on Gomo servers. Now if they needed to go ahead and make an update to that or make any changes to it, they just go into Gomo, make the changes, save it, and it instantly updates into the LMS. And again, because it is an empty SCORM file, it should be approved very, very, very quickly. It shortens down that time. And as I was just talking about easily updating content when it's live, again, same situation. They might get a new line in, or a line gets canceled. They have to replace it with a new line. They needed to be able to get that information out. And now by using the Gomo LMS wrapper and going into Gomo, making the change, saving it, publishing it to Gomo, that content's now updated automatically in their LMS in a matter of minutes instead of weeks. Now, some of the other benefits of the Gomo LMS wrapper are the fact that you get dual reporting. You get the SCORM reporting based out of that LMS, plus you get the XAPI analytics out of Gomo servers. And if you're unfamiliar with XAPI, that really kind of tracks everything that the learner does. It tells you what pages they went to, how long they were on those pages. Did they watch the video? Did they take the quiz? What questions did they get right? What questions did they get wrong? What type of device were they accessing the course with? Where in the world were they when they took this course? So you can take that key data and you can analyze it, and you can look and you can see, gosh, everybody's missing question number 9. Why is that? Maybe I programmed the question wrong. Maybe I've got some misleading content. All information that you'd never be able to get out of SCORM, you now get out of Gomo with the XAPI analytics. Okay. Now, some other things that we can do that will save some time and gives you some options is reaching your learners not through a traditional LMS. So first off, Gomo does have what's called Gomo Central, and it is a learning portal. It's not an LMS, doesn't have a lot of that LMS functionality, but it's a great place where you can send learners to go and get their training. And what we're finding from a lot of the global organizations that use this, which is more than not, is, traditionally when they say, oh, we've got some new hires, we need to get them a laptop so they can have access to the LMS. Traditionally IT, well, we make laptop orders, once every other week on Tuesday. It'll be 14 days before we can get them a laptop, or I need to take 2 or 3 days to create a login for them. No, this way, as soon as they're hired, send them right to Gomo Central and they can take their onboard training immediately. So it's a nice, easy way to get content to the learners immediately and their new hires. The Gomo Central app. So we do have cases where people want to be able to take this training offline and be able to control and see exactly everything that's going on. So we've developed the Gomo Central app. And so you can download courses, and then while you're online, and then later on when you're offline, you can pull those courses up, consume all the content, watch the videos, take the quizzes, and then as soon as that device detects a network again, it will automatically send those analytics back up to the server. Sometimes you just want to embed something into a website. We do eat our own dog food. So if you go to Gomo's website and go into our knowledge base, you will see a lot of different courses that were created in Gomo, and they're embedded into our website. And what we do is we just created an embed code for you. Copy that code, paste it into your HTML, and it's going to be on the website. You can either make it consumer facing on your intranet site or employee facing on your intranet site. But again, it's another nice way that you can get content to your learners. Another way is by sending a direct link. Just email it, Facebook it, tweet it, however you want to do it. You can send them a link, they can click on it, and they can then again, of course, get access to the content. And of course, I already talked about it, but the Gomo LMS wrapper. Another benefit about this is we use the CloudFront by Amazon, or the Content Delivery Network, CDN, and it is a global network of servers. So if you happen to have a global audience and you don't have a CDN, maybe if somebody on the other side of the world is trying to take one of your courses, it's not going to be a very good streaming experience because it's going halfway around the world. Well, because we're on the Amazon CloudFront, we will detect where that person is locally, and then we will encrypt that course, push it out to a server that's closest to them, and then it will stream from that local server, giving them a much better streaming experience. All right, so also, mobile has become very, very, very popular with all the smartphones and tablets and the bring your own device policies. They need to be able to provide content on any kind of device, any different kind of screen size. It's really become very important. Now, hopefully, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, gosh, that looks horrible, that's small and hard to read, that's because this is not Gomo. This is actually one of the most popular development tools that's out there right now. And as you can see, it shrinks things down to just an itsy bitsy third of the screen here. It basically mimics what's on the laptop and forces it to look the exact same way on a different screen. Same thing here. You get some funky buttons down at the bottom. Buttons here are going to be hard to press. You're going to fat finger them. The text is very difficult to read. But with Gomo, we designed Gomo to be mobile friendly from the very get-go. These other desktop tools are using old technology with new technologies stacked on top of it in order to force it to work on mobile devices. And really that just makes for a difficult time. You've got to create the course multiple times depending on the type of device that you're going on. But Gomo, adaptive and responsive HTML5, fills the screen every time, no matter what the orientation, doesn't matter what the device is. You build one course, one time, and it'll stream on every single device, and the buttons will be finger friendly, the text will be easy to read, so you eliminate all of those problems. One thing I do like to tell people is we did run a bunch of our courses through Google Analytics, and it gave us a score of 100 out of 100 for mobile friendliness, and there's just not another tool out there that comes close to that. All right, so I was talking earlier about Keizo, and that's talking in my ear. So we now, with Keizo, have screen capturing via our browser. So what you can do is you can deliver IT training in a matter of minutes. So this was a course that Mike did. You can see we've got different languages down here at the bottom. We'll switch that to Dutch, or we can switch it to Arabic. And the translations, it automatically creates the speech to text using Google speech to text. So the subscreens or the closed captions are created automatically. And then we also have automatic translations to over 110 different languages that you can do. Over here on the right, we have various chapters, and these basically work like bookmarks in a video. So somebody can, let's say I've watched this, but I want to go back to the tablet portion. I can click on that, and it's going to automatically jump me to the tablet portion of this video instantly. Another thing is I can collaborate in this video. So maybe I had a question like, how did he do that? I don't remember how he did that. So I can just click here, and it will automatically stop the video in time, and I can say, how did you change that to a tablet? And once I submit that, it automatically is going to send an email to the person that created the video with a link that they can now come back here and answer my question immediately. And then this collaboration will stay up here. So any new learner that comes here and watches this, they'll see the exact same questions on here. And I obviously already mentioned the automatic auto captioning and the automatic translations. So you can literally change and deliver multilingual training in minutes. And I got a really good story about that. One of our largest clients, she receives over 40 hours worth of videos, and she is supposed to transcribe what the person is saying in English to text. And then she would then send that over to their Chinese translators over in, I think, Beijing. And it would take her several hours to transcribe each video. And she had over 40 hours worth. We had her send us one of her videos, and within 3 minutes, we sent it back to her, automatically transcribed and automatically translated to Chinese. So needless to say, they went ahead and got the additional Gomo of video option. So that are the 10 things that we believe can really help to save your organization time and money. And I've got several different case studies here that I want to share with you very quickly, and then I'll go in and kind of give you a real quick demonstration of what Gomo is. So with Santander, probably the biggest thing that they needed is they had to have courses be available on iPhones and iPads. Absolutely had to be mobile friendly. And the current tool that they had just didn't work. Well, they found Gomo, and then they were actually able to go out and create very, very quickly all their new courses, went out to 7,000 different smartphones and 1,000 different iPads, and they were able to go in and create these courses, and it satisfied their multi-device requirements very, very easily. EE, for those of you in the States that don't know what EE is, they are actually a merging of T-Mobile and Orange, kind of like what T-Mobile and Sprint are doing here in the States now. And really, this is an amazing thing. The person that is in charge of their training, Pinda Dillon, she basically said that using Gomo to create our e-learning has transformed our organization. And a really nice story about that is whenever the iPhone X or the iPhone 10 came out, everybody was scrambling to try to get information on the phone. And what EE did is they were able, by using Gomo and using the collaborative functionality, they were able to get all the training to all their employees for the iPhone 10 out in just about 4 hours. So all of their employees were trained and up to speed in just 4 hours from the time they got the information. If you were to walk into a Vodafone, or I guess over here a Verizon store, something like that, and ask about the iPhone X or iPhone 10, generally it's like, well, we're supposed to be getting that information. Well, I don't really know anything yet. You walk into EE, all their employees were already trained and knew everything they needed to know about that phone. So again, that massively just transformed their organization and how they were able to get content out to their learners. And then one more here, PwC. This is really kind of, again, amazing story. They went through a very long, nearly 1 year proof of concept. They hired an industry analyst to go out and review the best e-learning tools on the market. But the first thing is it had to be cloud-based, absolutely had to be cloud-based. And after a year-long proof of concept, they came back and said, you know, Gomo's the absolute best one out there. So they rolled it out to over 15 different territories and over 100 different authors. But as of today, they've now added over 160 authors, and they've got over 2,000 projects out there that they've been able to do. The fact that Gomo is so easy to learn, it's cloud-based, they just assign a license to somebody and they can log in and immediately see what everybody else is doing, has just been a real massive time saver and money saver for them. So before I move on now to the demonstration, does anybody have any burning questions that you think they need to have answered?
Hi, Tom. It's Hugh here again. Thanks for that. And can you hear me okay, Tom?
I can.
Great. Just picking up on some of the points and questions which have been coming in during the first half of our session, that Bob is asking about, saying that we work worldwide. So how about courses in different languages?
Right. So with Gomo, Gomo does do support multilingual courses as well. It does not have the automatic translations like the Keizo or the Gomo video player does. But with Gomo, what you can do is you can create your course in your default language, and then you would export out what's called an XLIF file, XLIFF. And that is the industry standard format that professional translation companies are looking for. It's very easy to work with. You would get that translated, and then once that's done, you would import that XLIF file back into Gomo, and then you would have a language selector. There's one of several different ways how you could choose to change the language. And then the learner would just go in, they would choose their language, and then it would automatically pull from that language XLIF file and change all of the text to that particular language. You do also have the ability to do localization. So if you wanted the image to change or an audio track to change, you can do that as well. Any other questions?
Thanks, Tom. Just to pick up on a discussion that we've been having in the question box with Bruce, just to point out that Tom, you mentioned about the detailed analytics about being able to see which questions somebody got right and wrong and which screens that they landed on. Just to explain as well that if you've got an XAPI LMS, great, that Gomo can report directly to that. But even if your LMS is SCORM only and it was just telling you that you've got, this person did this course and they got this score, then with Gomo Analytics, you're getting that detail back in your analytics account. So essentially, Gomo is letting you add in XAPI analytics, even if your LMS is SCORM only. So just to clarify that point there.
Yep, and to do that, you've got to be using the Gomo LMS wrapper.
Yeah, which gives you the instant content updates.
Right.
Okay, well, those are the main points that have come through so far, but obviously please do, for those of you who joined us slightly late, you'll find the question box in your GoToWebinar panel. So please feel free just to comment or ask any questions there, and we'll be picking up on any other questions towards the end of the session. So back over to you, Tom.
Great, thanks. So what I'm going to do now, just to kind of give you guys an idea, I'm going to show you I'm going to create a very, very basic course in Gomo. That way you'll kind of get an idea of the look and the feel. But what I'm also going to do is I'm also going to integrate in some video created by using Keizo, or now called the Gomo video player. So you can kind of get an idea of what that looks like as well. So it's going to kind of be a cross back and forth demonstration of both products, but just know that the Keizo video player is going to be branded as the Gomo video player as soon as we finish with the integration. But do know that everything that Keizo does now, you can put it into Gomo and it works 100%. So when you do log into Gomo, you can go in and you can have folders and you have all your projects. But if I wanted to create a new project, just simply click on the plus sign there and we'll give our project a name. And today is Tuesday and it is 12:30 my time. And I'm just going to choose the demo folder for my stuff to go into. This is where I would change and do multi-language. If I wanted to do multi-language, I'm just going to do English to start off with. This is also where I would control, and choose my theme. So again, the themes control the look and the feel of the course. Gomo comes with about 8 different themes. Those themes can be copied and then gone in and manipulated to change the backgrounds, change the images, things like that. But I'll just go ahead and choose that one. This is the wizard I was talking about, where you can change the structure. Maybe I don't want an introduction topic. Maybe I want, I'll have 3 topics here. Maybe I want an exit button. I don't want a glossary. Of course, you can always change all this after the course has been created. You're not married to that in any shape or form. This is also where I can go in and I can grant access to my reviewers or my editors. So if they need to have access to this, I just turn that to on and they would see it. Otherwise, any courses that I create would be invisible to them. So that takes, well, went very quickly. I'll just show you kind of an example real quickly of a course created in Gomo, just so you can kind of get an idea. So this right here is a course created by Jaguar Land Rover using a custom theme that we created for them. And this one, they've created courses for all of the various vehicles that they sell at their lots. And they have actually made these all available to their employees via iPads using the native app. And they wanted these to be available offline for a couple of reasons. A couple instances where they have a very large lot and somebody's walking out to the very edge of the lot, they'll lose connectivity to the Wi-Fi, but they still want to have this information accessible to them. Or if they take somebody for a test drive, they're obviously going to lose connection to the Wi-Fi. But this way, if somebody asks them a question or they want to show them a video or talk about all the different wheels that come with the vehicle, this way they can actually get access to all that information right on their iPad. So this is just kind of a nice little course that they've got here. And I'll show you one more real quickly. Then I'll go back to Gomo. So this is a course, one of the PwC courses. This one is done using the deep continuous scroll. That seems to be getting more and more popular with a lot of websites out there, and a lot of companies like to be able to emulate that with their training as well. It's using display conditions and expanding things based on what I click on. But as you see, I'm just using my mouse on the wheel mouse. This is a hot text leading to subscreens. Again, all standard stuff in Gomo. So since it's done creating my course already, so when you first log in, it's going to display to you the layout of the course that you created. And again, I asked for just a menu and 3 topics, so that's what it's giving me. We have my header information up here at the top. We've got footer information down here at the bottom. Maybe I want to put my exit button up here in the top right-hand corner. Just right-click, remove the item, hit the plus sign up here to add it, and there we go. So now I will have a header up here. I opened up this topic right here because I wanted to show you guys what it would look like if you were to come in and we were going to collaborate together. I don't know, maybe my colleague Mike might come into one of these, we'll see. But you would not be able to go into this topic because it's locked. This prevents us from overriding each other. So this is the interface. It is drag and drop. This is my real estate right here, but you're not limited to that real estate. If we come in here and go to add content blocks, you'll see that everything is expanding. So unlike PowerPoint or other tools out there where you just have a square and that's what you get, with Gomo, you can expand it to really as much as you want. Now it is these content blocks that make Gomo so mobile friendly. So again, using some of the examples I showed you earlier, most of your authoring tools out there that are not adaptive and responsive will look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, left to right. And if it goes to a mobile phone, it'll keep it 1, 2, 3, 4, left to right. Whereas Gomo will shift this one under the first one, shift the third under the second, and so on. So they'll be stacked vertically. And that's what's going to give you that mobile friendliness. So buttons will still be good finger size, images will still be a good size, and so on and so forth. Now, putting in the text, just simply type in "Welcome to Gomo." I can type in directly, or I can paste from another document or something like that. I don't have to worry about what fonts am I going to use, what size, what color. All that's controlled by the theme. So again, going out to, if you've got 100 SMEs that want to be able to go out and develop their own content, you can set them free and not have to worry about them going in and making all kinds of different looks and feels to courses and things like that with different fonts. All right, if I click on the image, it's going to give me an option to change out this image. I can just do a search by name if I want to. By default, it'll search all of my central repository folders that I have. If I know that I've got something in a specific folder here, I'll just go to my demo folder, and I don't remember what it's called, but I know what it looks like. Just do the thumb view instead, and then I can go and I can pick my image out. If it didn't have the image I wanted, I just upload it. I've got a cropping tool here where I can change the size if I wanted to, and so on and so forth. Now, if I don't want to add this screen here, maybe I want to delete this screen, I could do that. We talked about the screen templates. So here's one. We'll do a video asset left. And this is where I'll talk a little bit more about Keizo. So maybe I want this to take up a whole column here. And maybe I don't want this to be a regular video player. I want this one to be a iframe. So switching over now, and I'll come back to Gomo, switching over to Keizo so you guys can kind of get a little idea of what Keizo is, or Gomo Video. This is going to give you all of your different videos right here in one central area. These work a lot like your folders on your desktop do. So these are called containers. Inside the containers are either other containers or videos, or containers inside of containers. Again, a lot like your desktop where you put folders on there. You can have files and folders and so on and so forth. We also have featured content where you can feature a specific video. You can have trending videos. You can see which videos are trending. You can subscribe to specific videos so you can get updates when things are being changed or there's communication going on. But back here, this is really where all the content is. Now, what I've done is, let's say that I created a screen capturing video on how to use our new countdown timer in Gomo, or maybe how to add an action to that countdown timer. So I've got that down here. So here's our countdown timer. And let's say that I also wanted to record a brief introduction, introducing folks to what it is I'm getting ready to show them. Now, I can go and I can record a video by clicking record video. I can either share my desktop to do a screen capture, which is what I did to create this one, or it'll access my web camera, which allows me to talk to people. I'm not going to do that at this time because I know we're limited on time. But the other thing I can do is I can copy from my library, because I went and recorded this just a little bit earlier this morning. So I'm going to go find my video. Here it is. And I'll just copy it over. Now, what Gomo Video is doing right now is it's actually processing this video. It's actually creating multiple different copies of this video, different sizes with different bitmap rates. So it will decide based on the type of device that you're on, as well as your connection, and it will automatically send you the best size video for your streaming use. So you might be on a smartphone in an area where you only have 2 bars. It's going to send you a much smaller video with a shorter bit rate, versus if you're on a desktop computer where you've got a plugged in gigabyte connection, it'll send you the biggest one with the biggest bitrate map or bitmap rate. So also some things I can do is if I come into the content editor, I can obviously cut some things down. I can go in and I can add documentation to this. So maybe if I wanted to upload a PDF or a PowerPoint and synchronize those two together, I can do that. Any of the text that's inside that PowerPoint or PDF will automatically become searchable in the search functionality. The chapter editor allows me to go in and create chapters that again also become searchable. So if anybody wanted to did a search for countdown timer intro or countdown timer, it would show them that video. Also, the closed caption editor, again, it automatically creates that speech to text. And so if I come in here and I go English, I can see exactly everything that it got, and it's generally about 97, 98% accurate. I spell my name with an H and never gets that. And obviously, it just spells it T-O-M. Sometimes it gets Gomo. Sometimes it says Gomu. It all depends on how well I enunciate. But this time, it got everything 100% correct, except for just how I spelled my first name. Also with the translations, it automatically did the translations, and I'll show you exactly how I did that real quickly. I'll add another language. Maybe I'll put in French. So if we come into, oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. So if I go into the video and go into manage, I can go into my captions and I will say I'm going to translate, and maybe we'll translate this to French. All right, and so hopefully by the time I get this linked up to Gomo, that'll actually already be done. All right, so now let's say that obviously I want this video to play first because this is an introduction into that. I can just come over here, change the order, and then come back here. And then if I refresh the screen, that order is now going to be changed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this. I can share just an individual video, or I can share the entire container. By sharing the entire container, it will stitch these videos together and play them back to back to back. So if I had 4 videos here, it would play them all back to back to back by 4. Now, a couple other things I can do. I can either share the player, which it will play them back to back, or I can give them basically the option of which video do they want to play. Well, I want it to play back to back to back. I'm going to use the iframe. So I'm going to hide this header. I'm going to hide the video overlay, and then I'm going to use this link. And now I'm going to go back to Gomo, and I'll put this in here. So obviously there's a whole lot more to the Gomo video player than what I showed you. So if you would like a more in-depth demonstration of that, just send us an email afterwards and we'll be happy to arrange that for you. So that's creating that. Now maybe I want to create maybe one more page. We'll create a real quick quiz here. So I'll create another one from template, and maybe I'll come down here and I'll do a multiple choice question. And we'll say, what is a function of the countdown timer? And we'll say we can make it hidden, not hidden. Right colors. All right, so I can give somebody 1 chance to get this question right, 2 chances to get it right, 5 chances, or unlimited. We can use basic feedback, advanced feedback if we want to. We're going to go ahead and make this one the correct answer. These are going to be incorrect answers. And maybe we'll delete this image here, and maybe we'll put a lovely video here just to confuse people. Some windmills, it's lovely. All right, so now what I'll do is I'm going to go back and we're going to actually preview what this course looks like. So if anybody has any a QR code on your phone, you might want to get that out, and this will actually jump onto your phone. I'll put that up here again in just a second. It looks like Hugh's in there doing something. Who knows what that could be? So the other nice thing that Gomo can do is it's going to give you an idea of what this is going to look like on a desktop. It's going to give you an idea what it's going to look like on a tablet as well as a smartphone. So you can make sure that everything is working correctly. We also give you several different options for several different types of phones and different types of tablets, just so you can get an idea. So for example, here's what it looks like on a standard tablet. And let's say we're curious as to what this looks like on an iPhone 6. And what you'll see here is you'll see this video shift underneath here. There we go. So these buttons remain finger friendly. These are finger friendly. This is going to be finger friendly. Whereas other devices would try to shrink it down and keep it right next to each other, and it just wouldn't be very, very good. So if we go into our content topic 1, here's our welcome to Gomo. And here's our videos. And we'll see if those closed captions, yep, I already did it to French. So it only just took a couple of minutes to switch it to French. How about Bulgarian? There we go. And of course, again, if I wanted to stop and ask a question, click in there, compose the comment, it would send me an email. I'd be able to answer the question right away. Then all the other learners would be able to have access to that information as well. And then here's our lovely video, and we'll say that it's hidden. And I got that correct. So that's obviously a very, very quick down and dirty way how you can create a course. Now, if I shift gears a little bit and I am a reviewer, all reviewers will have this tasks tab that they can click on. And if they see, they will see all the comments that any other reviewers see. So you're not going to get that duplication. You're not going to have to worry about emails going back and forth or a shared document on a server, getting multiple different versions of that. I can just come in here and I can say, you know, change the background to Lighthouse. Automatically it's going to identify the course, the topic, the screen, and then I'll make Hugh go do that because he's not doing anything. And I'll create that. So then now when Hugh logs in, he can go in and he can sort this by who's been assigned to. He can assign it by project, assign it by status. He can click preview and go and see exactly what it is I was talking about and go in and make those changes. So let's say that I am Hugh. I can come in here and I can go in and change the background on every single one of these, or I can go into the settings and I can make some changes just to this specific theme. Now, if I wanted to, I could completely change the entire look and feel, maybe change it to the Nike theme or the Federal Reserve or Medline, and it would take on these colors, look, and feel. But if I'm relatively happy with this particular theme, I can go into this one, just make some minor changes, and it will only affect this course. It's not going to affect all the other courses that are out there. I'll make this a little bit lighter blue because I think the background image I'm going to use is kind of a light blue. I can come in here now. I can select no image, and then I could go in and I could put a separate image on each individual page, which I kind of like the looks of. There's L'Oreal tends to do that with a lot of their courses, and a lot of our clients do that. But I'll just make this one go on every page, make sure it scales, and maybe I'll just change the couple of the main menu button colors just a little bit. All right, ta-ta. And we'll keep maybe the footer one as well. And we'll apply those changes. So then when I go back, I apologize, I forgot to do it, but I'll bring up that QR code. So again, if you do have a QR code reader on your phone, I will put that QR code up on the screen. And then this course will come alive on your phone or tablet, depending on whatever you have the QR reader on. All right, so now if we come back here and I refresh the screen, it's going to take on those changes that I went and did in that theme. It's going to have a lighter header. It's going to have a lighter footer. It's going to have the menu buttons are going to be a little bit different color. And of course, that background image is going to change from those Google colors, which is what those actually are, to the lighthouse image that I put up there. And there we go. And so again, here is that QR code. If you've got that reader, I'll give you guys about 5 or 6 seconds to read that. And then I'll go and talk a little bit about the Gomo hosting, and then we'll be done. Take any final questions. All right, so hopefully for those of you that had a QR reader, that is good. So now let's say that I'm perfectly happy with this course. It's wonderful. It's gone through all the Q&A, QR, everything else. Come in here, I can hit Publish Project. And now if I choose to publish it to my own LMS, I can simply do that. You can put it in the SCORM file, zip it up, FTP it, and so on. If you are a NetDimensions customer, we do have one-click PENS integration into NetDimensions. But then if you're happy and you want to do the Gomo hosting, you would click that, and that would send it over to the Gomo hosting portal. Here is going to be the listing of all the courses that you've published to Gomo, but you still have to tell it where you want to put it. How can your learners access it? So we have Gomo Central. Gomo Central is where you can go in. It takes about 10 minutes to set up. Put your logo in, put your background images in, and then people would be able to go in and choose from all the various courses that they can take right here. I will show you some XAPI analytics from this course. I'm not going to run through it right now, but just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. If I go into my projects and go find that particular course. So in order to make that show up inside the Gomo Central, I find the course, I go to the settings, I choose Gomo Central, I update that, and it becomes live in Gomo Central. It does show that the last time I took this was on 8/27. So if I go into my analytics and I choose all activities and I come back and I choose the 27th, it's going to show that I went into the main menu. I went 5 pages deep into the first topic, didn't spend much time on them, as you can see. Went back to the main menu. I skipped the other topics, went directly into the quiz, got the first 2 and the fourth one correct, missed the third one, finished with the 75%, went back to the main menu, and then exited the course. All of this, of course, can be exported to a CSV file, throw it into Excel. You can use pivot tables and all kinds of stuff like that to manipulate the data. Now, the other ways that we can get these accessible to people, I talked a little bit about the direct link and the embed into a web page. So again, here's the Get Going with Gomo. You'll find this on our web page. It's been accessed 7,600 times. And if I wanted to put this one on there, I just go into settings, hit the direct access. I take this code right here, paste that into my HTML, and then the course becomes live on the web page. If I wanted to send a direct link, use one of these two, either behind SSL or not, and that becomes available as well. Of course, we do have the option to make it anonymous for these last 2 options I showed you, or you can make a pop-up screen where we'll ask them for their name and email address so you can track who actually is taking those courses. And then last but not least, the Gomo LMS wrapper. This is where you can get the best of both worlds, where you can put a tiny file onto your LMS, but you're able to get the all the information, all the XAPI analytics, instant updates, things like that. So here's one here. It's 54 megabytes, not a large course. It's not a small course either. But if we click on that and we go to the settings, choose LMS wrapper, download the package, and there it is. And if I go into my downloads, there it is, 13 kilobytes. So I went from 54 megabytes down to 13 kilobytes. So very, very light load on your servers. Okay, I think I went through that in record time. We have plenty of time for a few questions now. So Hugh, if you would like to let me know what they are, I'll try to answer them.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot, Tom. Yeah, just to pick up on some of the questions and points which have been coming through, I suppose one of the crucial things Noah has mentioned says, this tool is amazing. What's the pricing model?
Oh, good question. Good question. Well, the pricing model is really dependent on several different factors. I mean, I know that's kind of a horrible answer. It's kind of like how much to build a house. So we do have sort of a, matter of fact, I'll go ahead and pull it up. On our website, we do have a section that does show you pricing, and we've got a couple different types of packages. We have kind of a sort of a do-it-yourself, self-help kind of packaging right here, and I'll change it to dollars. Hopefully you can And you saw down here I have a package where you or a link where you can change it to pounds, dollars, and euros. So these two right here, this is just an individual single license, single author for hosting and analytics. It's $17.80 per year. For a medium suite, which gives you 4 authors and hosting or for up to 750 students, it's $49.80 per year. And this, by the way, does not include the Gomo video. That's going to be separate as well. We're working on that. And then, of course, we have our enterprise pricing, and that is going to be based on the number of authors that you have, the number of learners you have accessing the system. And, of course, if you only need the authoring, we can sell you just the authoring. But again, most of our large global organizations do take advantage of the hosting as well because of that Gomo LMS wrapper and the XAPI analytics. And we're now starting to get a lot of traction on the Gomo video tool as well. So if you've got some special requirements, just let me know some numbers and I can get you pricing, because this one, volume discounts and all kinds of other things take into account.
Great, thanks, Tom. And just a follow-up question from that, as in, is there a trial version for us to try ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, you see this big bright green, try it for free. You'll see that throughout the entire website. And what that does is it actually gives you this package right here. It's the medium package. So you have 4 authors. So, you know, a lot of times we'll see a company, though everybody will go get a trial, and well, you can't test out the collaborative functionality when you all have your own individual trial, because you're all on different instances in the server. So if you have a trial and you have 4 authors, just whenever you get the trial, you're the account owner, go in and create your other authors, and then you can all test out the collaborative functionality. It is good for 21 days.
Great, thank you, Tom. And just, I think we can just squeeze in another one here. Laura's asking about what range of question types can you add to a Gomo course? And also, can you then lock screens? Can you lock the questions?
Yep, absolutely. So good question. We've got a lot of the standard questions: multiple choice, true and false, select from list, hotspot multiple choice, drag and drop, true and false, fill in the blank. So a lot of different question types that you can put in there. And now as far as locking screens, yep, we've got all kinds of different types of display conditions, and you can really get pretty fancy with different types of user variables, so that, you know, if somebody gets a certain percentage on the quiz, you can force them back through the content again, or if they get another percentage, they can just go right through the quiz again, or they have to interact with everything on a page before the next button becomes available. So lots of options there.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Tom. Well, I think that's probably going to be all the time that we have for questions, unless anybody has some last-minute ones coming through that they really want to get in. I can't see any coming through. One question about, is this webinar being recorded? So we can say that yes, it is. That we'll be making the recording available via our website in the next day or so. So if you want to review this, or you have some colleagues who weren't able to join us today, then the recording will be available.
Fantastic.
Without any further questions there, we'll just say thank you very much for tuning in today, wherever you are today. As you'll have seen, that you can try Gomo for yourself for free, 21-day trial. So please do give it a go and let us know what you think. And if you need to contact us directly to have a conversation, you can email contact us at gomolearning.com as well. So thank you very much again today, and we look forward to hearing how you get on with Gomo. So thank you, everyone.